I couldn't straighten up one morning. So they loaded me in an Army ambulance, took me to the 12th Evacuation Hospital. Now, it's not as nice as it sounds. Sometimes I was in a barn or a big house or under a big tarpaulin, depending on the weather. Very seldom it was in a building, but it had turned bitter cold. They had taken out in the country a primary elementary school. Each room was about a third or fourth the size of this. They had these canvas cots. Had to fold them up. And they took me in there and put me in one of those cots after 10 o'clock time they got me in there. No one came around, said a word to me. No, ordinarily to come and get your history, your name and your serial number and everything. No one said a word. But they brought me my lunch at noon. No one came around. Supper time, they brought my evening meal. Bedtime, not a soul could come around. The guy in the cot next to me, about this far away, talked to me. He's the only one to talk to me.
Huh.
They didn't know what I was in there for. They didn't even know I was there.
Wow.
We went to sleep, and during the night, I don't know whether it's still the 19th or after 12 and make it December 20th. They came, got me, took me to the surgery. They put me to sleep. The next morning I woke up 7 o'clock and I was back on that canvas cot. A surgical nurse, just a little nurse from Nebraska, came out and said, "How's the boy with half his stomach going?" I didn't know they were going to take this out. So they came around later and decided that they took it out of the wrong guy. Those guys that came and got me on the cart, it was their fault because they didn't check. They didn't ask my name, didn't say one word to me. Just took me in there, put me on that surgical table, and left. And they took every word about my stomach off the record. So they didn't want to get in that big trouble. There's nothing in the record at all. Then, if they operated on it for anything, they took your appendix out. Yeah. They said you don't need them, so they took them out, and that's what they did. That's also on my record. But yet they paid me 50% disability for 9.5 years after I got out. They paid 10 years, they can't cut it. So 9.5 years, they cut it from 50 to 20. They still pay me 20%. They're not going to do that for appendectomies.
Wow.
And I've watched guys cut themselves on purpose to get the Purple Heart. It lost its meaning temporarily for me. This one kid from New York got a C ration can, brought it and sat down beside of me. You had them in your pack. And cut the top out and went this way. Zip. Uh-oh, another Purple Heart. He went down that and made him 4 of them. So when they offered me mine in the hospital training when I went back to Paris, that big general hospital, 115 guys in my C ward. That nurse came by while I was still in the train, they were waiting to be unloaded. She'd hear sign this. I said, "What's that for?" She said, "That's for the Purple Heart." I said, "I don't want that thing." I wish I hadn't have, because they took everything off. Now I can't go back and get it.
Wow.
It's what would you base it on? I don't know. So I lost half my stomach. You can't prove it. You got it then. That's where you got it.